What does your net worth look like today?
Okay, so let's put my net worth at 5.
Do you remember when you made your first crore in your journey?
Yeah, 2022.
And what was that feeling like?
Once I hit that first crore, I felt it was not enough. My salary was like 50,000 at that time in 2016. Not great.
How did you transition to entrepreneurship then?
That's when I met one of my cousin called Varun Mayya. 2020, Varun said YouTube is doing crazy. We should start doing some content. Every month you're earning like 7 to 10 lakhs on average. That's like a lot of money, right?
What did you do with that money?
I started investing in real estate at that time. Within 1 year, that 64 lakhs flat went up to 90. So I sold it in 1 year at 84 and kept the other flat. That immediately next year I sold the other flat for 1.08 and I used the bank's money, which is debt, to build this.
What your income streams look like right now?
I have my assets and liabilities on the right, just like a balance sheet, and my income and expenses on the left. Coming to income sources, as I told you, YouTube income roughly comes around, and my expenses comes to I should take more loan according to this Excel sheet.
I think you're the first person to say that I should take more loans. So I've realized that you're the best guest to have on the show called as the Networth Show.
Yeah.
Because you track it obsessively. So we'll start with your journey only now. I know you were an investment banker for a very brief period of time, and now you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this entire journey, and I want you to start with back when you were in Bombay.
Okay.
So from there to now, what's that entire journey been like?
So I'll start with some deciding moments in my life. Okay. So one was when I was in college. Now Bombay is obviously a great place, awesome place. I still love it a lot. So I was in this college called SIS, School of Commerce and Economics, okay, in Sion. So at that point, during my 11, 12, first year, second year, I was not inclined to study at all. I didn't want to study. I didn't like studying. I was like, job karna hai, paisa kamana hai. You know, the typical, let's get hustle mindset. And when you're in Bombay, most of the time you're in that mindset by default. Okay, so I didn't focus at all on studying. And I remember this in the second year of my bachelor's, I dropped 2 subjects. Okay, so they had this 80-KT rule where you can carry forward if you can, carry forward 2 more subjects or whatever. I got 3 fails actually, not 2.
Oh my God.
Coincidentally, it was mathematics, economics, and all of that.
Yeah.
So it was horrible. And obviously, see, I come from a very South Indian family, right? So for us, education is like number one.
What a sin it must have been.
Yeah, huge sin in my family. It was horrible. Like that was the first time, like I knew I'm screwed. Like you go home, and my dad didn't say anything. So I was like, at least shout, finish it off, because you expect that. But he didn't say anything and he was silent. So when your father is silent, you as a guy realize more, right? Mom to finished me, so that was over. So 1 year I was had to sit at home and I had to just study these 2 subjects again and again. And that time my dad made me realize, ki boss, you need to study. Without this, you cannot go easily, work anywhere. I had to go and sit in his office and do an internship and learn. After that, I came back and got very good grades. I think then second year I had to repeat. Third year came in the top 5 all the time. Then my dad said, "ठीक है, अभी ये तो हो गया. CA you didn't do. Okay, engineer तो नहीं बना. Finance you took. Okay, so at least try doing IIM. Okay, so go for the IIM kill." Now, I don't know what confidence, because I was very bad in all of that. But I gave CAT in 2014-15. I think I got 89%. I was very happy because that was the biggest percentile I had got in my life. My dad was like, cut off 99 pe chal raha hai, you're at 89. Dur tak nahi milega. Worst IIM also you won't get. The only option is go abroad. So then I had to give GMAT. I gave GMAT twice to get a better score. Got GMAT, went abroad. Then I said, okay, let me do masters for 1 year. And my dad's only thing was, when he sent me abroad, he's like, distinction we need. Okay, so that he was like, I'll do everything. I'll send you. All you have to do is study and get distinction. So that was I don't know.
Bare minimum. This is the
bare minimum. Difficult to get distinction in UK, right? So I said, okay, ठीक है, dad का इतना, all these years I have disappointed. Let me at least get one distinction. But yeah, I did work very hard for that distinction, and then finally got distinction at the end, like properly got distinction at the end. And that was like a very pivotal point of life. If I had not failed that year, I don't think I would have changed my mindset towards things. So there I learned a lot. In UK, obviously, never liked it. I always wanted to come back to India. I felt like if I have so much knowledge and the hustle culture is there, then I'll definitely figure something out in India. That was the logic, right? So I was there for 12 months, 8 months was studying, 4 months was thesis. I even worked as a waiter for 3-4 months, not for the sake of money, but just to understand things. Fun, all experience was fun. Came back, and contrary to popular belief, people think you go abroad and you come back, aapko job ऐसा मिल जाता है, right?
हाँ,
नहीं मिला. Okay. And so I was very clear that I wanted to get into either investment banking or management consulting, because my framework of mind was very clear at that time. I want to analyze businesses because I always wanted to become an entrepreneur. So I was like, I want to understand how companies work. And I had this fascination of breaking down Ambani's playbook, you know, how this happened. That time, Jio, when I was back, it was 2016-ish. So this whole Jio Airtel war was going on, and I was fascinated by it, right? I applied to a lot of places. The most amount of roles I was getting was these normal audit type roles because finance background say. And then finally, I think I cracked one thing in IIFL. Now it's called 361. That time it was IIFL Wealth. A great guy who was my first boss, and it was only my last boss also. So first and last boss, Umesh Agarwal. So he met me in Bandra, and he said, you know, tell me what you know. And I had a lot of market knowledge. I was very bad at your kitabi kira kind knowledge, but market knowledge I had. So I told him, ये Jio का बहुत fascinating लग रहा है, you know, Airtel is fighting, Vodafone's not fighting. So I told him the whole thesis. So he loved that, and he said, okay, can you come and give me a presentation in office? Take any sector, any company. If it's good, he wanted to see my PBD skills. As he said, if it's good, we'll see. I did that. Went to IIFL's office in Kamala Mills, gave the presentation. He liked it. He said, go talk to HR, and you're selected instantly, right? Now, this is my first job, first boss, no negotiating skills, nothing. I didn't even expect I'll get the job. So I went there, and the HR is like, kitna salary loge? So usually when you go, you do some research. I didn't know I'll get picked that day. So I said, see, I'm here for knowledge, not for salary. First biggest mistake of life. I should have said, paisa do. I got the lowest offer at that time. Okay.
How much was it?
50,000 rupees a month. After cart put ke 49,800 I used to get. For an investment banker, that was quite low because I came to know what my peers were getting later. I was very hurt. But I still remember that. I should have never said, you know, मैं knowledge के लिए हूँ मैडम, आप दे दो जो भी है.
Leverage वाला बात होता है ना, वो खत्म हो जाता है.
My point in my head was कि भाई सीखने मिल रहा है. I wanted investment banking. I'm getting it, and the role entitled me to learn businesses, and I never had any experience. So that was when, you know, office was awesome. 9 o'clock, tiring to reach office because I was from Chembur to Kamala Mills is horrible. But once I was there, it was fun. I had to get, I got knowledge on all sectors, and that was the first time in life I got access to that Bloomberg terminal, right? Which is that very expensive Bloomberg terminal. That was an eye opener because every day I had to go sit on it and do some work. That was beautiful. But that was my first way into corporate life, and my salary was like 50,000 at that time in 2016. Not great even in 16.
No, but then how did you transition to entrepreneurship then?
So so I was working there. I mean I enjoyed it. I was working like a dog, honestly, if I would say. But it was, the life is like that in when you're in IB, right? So Saturday Sunday bhi kaam aata hai and you continue. That was the first time I realized that so I was working almost 12 hours a day at that time, on the weekdays and little more on the weekends. And at the end I used to get the same salary. So that one math kind of clicked in my head, right? That how much ever I work, I'm getting X, but the guy who hires me, who's taking that risk, is getting X plus something out of me. Obviously, I am giving more to the company. That is why he's kept me in this job. So then I said, okay, we need to go one step higher. So I don't think working in a salaried profession will ever help me. And obviously, I was reading a lot that, you know, TDS to zyada hi katta hai. So businessman, you can always save a lot. So, but I never had any opportunity, and that's when I met one of my cousin called Varun Mayya. So he was in Bangalore. I was in Bombay. So I came to Bangalore to meet my grandmom, and then I met him also.
And which year was this again?
2016 only, same year when I was working there. So we spoke, we were sitting, we were talking, and he said, you know, I think we're both smart, we can figure something out. Why don't you leave your job and come to Bangalore? I said, cool, good opportunity. Told my dad, he got damn pissed.
Of course.
He's like, abhi to aaya hai, abhi to naukri laga hai, you again want to leave and go. So then my dad, obviously like any dad, asked me these straight questions. What is the company that you're going to start? I said, I don't know. Varun said, we'll figure it out. Let's go figure it out. Okay, what is the plan? I said, no plan. What is the business model? I said, nothing. पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? पता नहीं. हम देख लेंगे जाके figure out करेंगे. So he said, no, I don't think it's a good idea. I think you should just be here. Continue at least 3 years work experience, and उसके बाद जो करना है कर. So obviously, I am not going to listen. I went and resigned, and I came home and gave the resignation letter and said, I'm going. Support me if you can. I'm going. 6 months he didn't talk to me. After that, I think once we started doing good work, I think he kind of mellowed down.
Yeah.
But that was my jump into entrepreneurship. Absolutely clueless. I would not recommend that to anyone because you need a plan. I just jumped into it. We jumped into it, but we were smart people. We figured it out. Because when you have no money in the bank, that's when you're like at the beast mode, right?
Yeah.
So that was very good.
So you must have been scared, no, that you're leaving everything behind. You're going to a new city, and you're starting something of your own, knowing that maybe your family isn't on board right now at this very instant.
Yeah.
So that must have
no, I was not scared. See, Bangalore was not new to me. Right? I was in Bangalore before also. So Bangalore was okay. But see, I was like, what do I have to lose? I don't have that kind of money. 50,000 I was not saving anything, by the way. I used to finish Kamla Mills, go have a drink after that. So it was all over by the end of the month. So I said I had nothing to lose. And I also felt that this is my prime years, right? I just come out of college and I said, we'll figure it out. Itna stupid. So I always knew that I'm not stupid, so I'll figure it out. That was the logic. Very naive in hindsight, but that time, that was the josh, right? We didn't have money at all. Like the first few days was just horrible, right? I don't even want to go into that story, but
go into the story. I want to know.
No, so basically we were like 4-5 guys, all smart guys, right? All smart guys, and we took one house, a 3 BHK house in Bangalore, and we stayed there, worked there, everything, which is very standard. This was in 2017 at that point. And we didn't have a lot of money at that time. So we all had to cook our own food. None of us know how to cook food. We used to have, I remember me and Varun at that point used to have rice and soya sauce and stir-fried beans every night for dinner because we don't know what to...
Maggie, no? That would have
Maggie, we were little, we didn't want to go Maggie route also. It was that bad. But then slowly we started making money. So I started selling services. He started selling services. We slowly built up a company called Avalon. Then we got our first office. We got funded. And that just kind of kept growing. And that did really well. And I still remember 2020 is when Varun said, there's this thing called YouTube. It's doing crazy. I think we should start doing some content. Absolutely no idea. He said, okay, fine. And he said, you teach finance content. I'll teach gaming content at that point. I said, who wants to see finance? Finance is so boring. I only find it boring. Who's going to watch finance content on YouTube? This was pre-COVID. Okay. So he said, try it out. No. So I started doing, I was the editor, the designer, the everything, right? Script writer. And Varun's like, figure out Photoshop, figure out editing. So we did everything by ourselves. Horrible. Like I got 100 views in the first video. But then comments started coming in and we kept doing it. And then before you know it, I think right place, right time kicked in 2020, 2021. COVID hit, which was a blessing in disguise for content creators, and that shot.
Yeah, so everything snowballed into perfection, basically.
Yeah, everything after that it snowballed too fast, actually.
Yeah.
Because we were not expecting that, even him, nor me, nor anyone, and we were running a business also, and we were not making a lot of money from the business. We were making good money, and we were taking good salary. The chat sab hai, sab theek hai, but mad paisa nahi tha, and content creation was when mad paisa started coming in. I always called it stupid money in the start, okay? Because 2020, 2021, right time, right place, stock market content, finance influencers just shot up, okay? And we were getting money for doing 1 minute of integration. Oh, sorry, not even 1 minute is a lot. Getting like 10-15 second integration ke liye, we were getting a lot of money. I was making 5-6 times my salary at that point from half the effort. I was like, ये तो stupidity है. This is mind blowing, right? But that was the first time in 2021 is when I saw really good money. Yeah. That was the first time.
Okay, and then when all of this money starts suddenly flowing in, what did you do with it? Like, especially like you said, the 5-6 times of your salary is now coming in.
Yeah.
What did you do with that money?
So 2-3 things happened at the same time. So 2021 is when my career boom started in the content world.
Okay.
That time I got married in Feb 2021. At that time I remember I had 4 lakhs in my bank account. Married, I have 4 lakhs in the bank account. Absolute horrible financial planning, everything. Tabi, you are in entrepreneurship, you don't make a lot of money in the start. So 4 lakhs in the bank account. Then I don't know what happened. This suddenly kicked in, and every month you're earning like 7 to 10 lakhs on average. That's like a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So now when you're married, obviously you go for trips. We went to 3-4 international trips. Arranged marriage, so you don't know the wife also properly, right?
Yeah.
Chalo trip pe. COVID was also there at that time, so the trips were also limited. But we started going. So 2021, 2022, we went for a lot of trips. I also knew that this was stupid money, that much dimag tha. And I always believe that in everyone's life, you have few years of golden period, I call it, right? Where you make really good money and you're in right time, right place. And that never lasts forever. And you'll always see a dip. And I've seen that with all my family and life and all. So I said, when you get these golden periods, build something that saves you when you're going to get screwed later on. So basically, it was right time at the right place. I started investing in real estate at that time, and interest rates were at an all-time low, absolute low point, because COVID, stimulus, and all of that. And whenever money gets printed in the ecosystem, assets usually go up the fastest and the first, because every time you get more money, you invest in assets. If you don't invest, companies will invest, factories will come, etc. So I said, let's take advantage of this 6.5%, 7% at that time. So I did some basic math, understood where the next phase of development is coming. We had the airport where it is now. So I said, let's invest there. And I love taking leverage. I love debt. Okay. Because I feel very few people know how to use debt. And everyone in India is scared of debt.
Yeah.
But if you know how to use it well, it is great for you.
I'll ask you how to use it the right way later on.
Yeah. So I loved it. So the whole flat at I bought flats because plot दिमाग में नहीं आता है, वो सब डर लगता है कि कोई आके बैठ जाएगा. So went to tier 1 builder, and there was a flat for 64 lakhs at that point. 2 BHK, because not too much money. So I said, दो ले लेते, थोड़ा stretch कर लेते. So we'll take 2 flats. But you only pay 20% down payment, and that time 80% tak they were giving loan. Okay? Now it is 75. That time it was 80%. So I put 20% down payment in each flat, like 12 lakhs and 12 lakhs, because paisa aa raha tha wo time pe. And then EMI was also a very decent amount. So I was like, okay. Within 1 year, that 64 lakhs flat went up to 90 within 1 year. Again, right time, right place, COVID, inflation, asset price boom. I sold the first flat before. It was not even constructed, so it is constructed now. Right, so I sold it in 1 year at 84. I gave a discount at resale and sold it off without registering. Kept the other flat. That immediately next year I sold the other flat for 1.08. Right, so I took a good chunk out of it. Now in this, I've only paid EMI for 1 year in the first year for that flat, and then I repaid most of it for the second one. And the second year interest was even lower, and I used the bank's money, which is debt, to build this. Obviously, right time, right place, all of that. I got lucky. Yeah, it is not like up dalo or upar jayega. People think it's that easy. I took that, immediately invested in this airport area called Devnarli, which I had made a video about. At that time, I bought it for 1 crore, which was literally a year ago. Now it's going for 1.3, right? Again, I took that money and flipped it here. Then I bought another house, again using just debt. So that is something I like playing a lot. I feel even now I have enough to take another debt. So I keep thinking like that. Okay, my debt to asset ratio is okay. It's not that much. I can go more aggressive. So that was a good decision I took at that time, 2021, to invest in real estate. Along with stock market also, I was making good money. This was like less work. Just put it and then it went up and then sell it, right? But I did some mistakes at that time. Because बहुत पैसा आता है तो you go little mad also. Apart from the trips, which I don't regret, I did a lot of angel investments at that time. Okay, अभी क्या, I'm not some fund or whatever, right? आता है. And when you're financial influencer at that time, you used to get opportunities.
Of course.
ये मेरा startup देखो, amazing है, वो startup देखो. So I did 10 angel investments in that period, 3 lakhs each. 30 lakhs I had put. 9 have gone. Okay. 1 is left. And 1 is doing well. Hopefully should cover up my entire, but opportunity cost was crazy. So 30 lakhs I had put at that time, which I've never seen even 1 rupee till now. And this was 2021. So I keep doing that in my head, that if I had just put that, invested decently, half decent, I didn't have to be smart at 2021, right? By now it would have been around a crore at least.
Right.
So that was a huge learning for me. So now I don't do any angel investment. Zero.
And did you buy anything like a material thing that you got that now you think that I didn't even need this, why did I buy it? I was spoiling myself.
That time, I bought a car also.
Which one?
I had bought a Mercedes at that time, C-Class. Abhi paisa aa raha hai, so you would want all of that, no? But that time I had bought it in the second-hand one. I didn't buy a first-hand one at that time because I wanted to save money and all of that. Big mistake. And then that got screwed. I bought it from a bad guy. It was 8 months out of 12 months it was in the garage. I spent another 10-15 lakhs fixing it up. And then I don't know, something didn't match. We just gave it away. And then my wife said, better just go to the showroom and get something. Don't do all this nonsense. But I'm never a big car guy. As of now, I don't believe in that.
Okay. So we'll talk about investments later on. But on the internet also, you are very candid about your income streams and your personal finance journey. So I'd still want you to give me a brief view of what your income streams look like right now. And how did you build these systems where you were like, eventually you kept on adding all of these avenues?
So it came out of necessity, honestly, right? Because I remember I told you 2021, 2022 was amazing period for content creators. Good money.
Golden
everyone made good money. But when that golden era switched off, that was a first shock. I mean, it is going to switch off. I knew it. but until it happens you don't realize it. Tabhi SEBI ka rules aaya tha, influencers ka ye aaya tha, a lot of attack was happening on influencers. The few bad apples spoiled all the entire game, right? But that was when we saw brand deals reducing, people went back to a post-COVID world, TV ads started coming back into the picture. So income definitely reduced from that peak to a very nominal amount. So that is when I realized, boss, right now necessity is the same. So we cannot stay with this. Let us go beyond distribution. So distribution was built. Point number 1 done. Then I said it's a marathon. You don't look at it as a small game. I call my YouTube channel my asset. Okay, I look at it as a house or a real estate asset. It's my asset. The more I work on that asset, the more the asset pays me. So that is why from the last 5 years, even today, we keep doing a lot of videos on YouTube, right? So then I said, okay, we need to diversify. Real estate to chal hi raha hai, either udhar side mein. Stock markets, I became better by then. Even in a bad market, I started becoming better. So that is when we started investing more there. Then I said, now let's create some products, because when you have distribution, you don't have a product, it's useless. And at that time, SEBI had this thing of regulation and all of that. So then I got myself registered straight away, because I knew that this is the only way to differentiate between a good apple and a bad apple, right? And if you're good at something, you do it. So I got myself registered as a research analyst straight away, and then came out with products. And now the products revenue masks the YouTube revenue. YouTube revenue is nothing now compared to the product revenue. So now I already have the next 3 things lined up for the next few years. So I already have that vision where what are the next things that have to come up. But it was all out of necessity, because once I got that shock that one income stream is not enough, that is when I realized we have to diversify. So today it is YouTube is there. So YouTube ads is one when you do videos. YouTube brand deals is another. Then we built a studio. So studio income, we do a lot of content for other companies. So we get good amount from that as well. Then my RA services comes into the picture. That is the 4th amount of revenue I get. And real estate, I won't count as an active income source, but I make good money on flipping it on once in 2 years. But if I add it on a yearly basis, it's very good. Then stock market dividends and income also I get. So almost 5 income sources now. So now I know if anything goes away, I'm completely fine. And I'm very diversified in this. So even if something shuts off, it'll irritate me, but it won't destroy me. So that is why I'm happy.
Okay. And with such 5 diversified income streams, what does your net worth look like today?
Today, okay, let me just check. So I use your app only. And I have like everything noted down here, so it's easy for me to look at. Okay, so I'll tell you. So real estate is 50%. Okay, so let's put my net worth at 5. Okay, that's what it is. We keep fluctuating around 5 to 5.15. Half of it is real estate. Okay, that was not half last year. Last year it was maybe 10-15%. I went very aggressive last year on real estate, because I told you my income savings ratio was good and my debt was low. So I said, let's go a little aggressive. And I just flipped those 2 houses. So we moved took bigger houses for investment, right? So now almost 3.2 is in the real estate. And I also feel again we're going to go into a zone where printing is going to happen. Something's going to break somewhere. We're already seeing it with a few places in Japan and all. I feel another big asset boom will come. So 3 is in real estate. Equity markets, again 3. Out of that, 2.8 is in India, and around 22 to 25 is in US. Right. So that is how, again, US was 0 at the start of the year. Start of the year, we started diversifying to US because we saw that US was doing better. We said, I still have to make money. Can't just sit here. But I still kept most of it in India, mainly because now India is in a very good undervalued position. It's giving a pain in terms of not going up, but I feel it's temporary and companies are good. So in the next 3 years, this will jump drastically.
It'll pick up,
Drastically, it'll jump. So that's why we started doing US. US has been doing really well. Mutual funds, barely, not much. My son's portfolio I have separate. So so there's one logic behind that. I created my son's portfolio. And the logic is to not just not sell it and give it to him at the age of 30. 30. 30. He's 1.5 years now. So
29 years of compounding.
29 years of compounding.
Oh my God.
All good companies, like only the top companies, like Reliance, blah, 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 blah. So every month I keep putting it. Sometimes I'll find him very cute. I'll go invest a little bit more. It's like that. It's very random. There is no fixed SIP. But I know that 30 years of compounding will kick in, and I'll give it to him at 30. And the only rule I will tell him is do not sell these companies. Continue. Because in the past, we used to get land, grandfather used to give land or some house, बहुत अमीर हो गया आदमी, तो मैं बोला वही चीज़ हम stocks में करेंगे अभी, generational basket, keep it for 30 and you keep it for another 30, you won't need to do anything at that point. So right now we've started that. That's reached around 18. So all the gifts he gets from Dada, Dadi, Nani, whatever they give, I say straight into his basket and that's his. There's no selling in that basket. It's only buying and leaving. Right? Gold, there's a good amount. There's two types of gold. One that I will never get access to, which is my wife's gold. The second gold is what I keep as coins, that is separate. So that is around 8. So totally it's around 5 now. But 50% is real estate and 40% is stocks as of now.
So, one thing that I've heard a lot of influencers say is how real estate is probably not the most ideal investment avenue as of now.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of them, in fact, suggest you to live on rent for the rest of your life. What's your view on that?
So I live on rent right now.
Oh, so
these are only investments. I don't stay there. So I stay in a rented apartment in a very nice place because the yield is. See, I'm not saying don't buy a house. I would definitely want to buy a house because mainly my wife wants to buy a house. I would stay on rent all my life. But the problem is, see, when I got a lot of money, the house prices also went up the same way. So I was always playing a catch-up game. I really wanted to go invest, but then I was like taking so much EMI at such a young age, and I would be locked. Like my net worth would just stay. It would have never reached here, right? If I was on that trap. So then I told my wife, give me some time. First, let me build some assets for my future, my son's future, and your future. After that, with the excess money, I'll go buy a house. So I told her, give me time till 40, till I'm 40 years of age, right? So now I have 7 more years. So that's why I'm very aggressively building assets. Goal is that eventually one asset or one profit of any asset just pays off my house.
Okay, and these are all residential properties?
These are all residential properties. I know the better way to play this, if I was more efficient, would be either to buy a commercial property or to buy plots. These are the two better ways to play what I'm playing. But plots, I don't have the bandwidth to go and sit every day and see. I don't have political connections to, do something there. And commercial property, I again don't have the bandwidth to sit and go manage it. So I know how to play this game. I'm definitely not making the greatest returns here, but definitely it is making more than what I am now. See, this year again, that has given me more return than the market, but it's a cycle, right? Everyone was saying don't buy houses in 2021 because markets were doing well. And obviously, right, if the markets are doing well, even I would not invest there. So right now, I have stopped my real estate and I'm going all in the market because right now I feel it's at the lowest point. So when this does really well, I will again remove it. At the peak of the market, I like removing it and putting it in this. So yeah, I believe that you should buy a house eventually. I think eventually everyone does. They always say don't buy a house, they will buy a house. The problem what people actually say is don't buy a house early in your career. That is a mistake for sure, because all your money in your peak earning years, instead of building assets or building cash providing assets, you are putting it into a house where you sit, right? And you maintain it, you have to pay this property tax, you have to pay whatever it is. It's cheaper than your EMI or maybe not, cheaper than your rent or maybe not, but I don't think that is a good way to do it. Definitely buy a house a little later. That's fine. You want security, you have two assets sitting there, you have cash in bank sitting. That is your security. But I don't think buying house early is good right now.
Okay. And do you remember when you made your first crore in your journey?
Yeah, 2022.
And what was that feeling like?
I think my first feeling of, that you breathe that sigh of relief was 50 lakhs, not even a crore. I had never seen 50 lakhs also. Like, what is 50 lakhs was crazy, and sitting in the bank account is mad. And I was married and it was only me and my wife. What will you do with that kind of money? So 50 lakhs, we were only saying, okay, next trip we'll go here, Europe jayenge, idhar jayenge, udhar jayenge. But wo bhi ek time ke baad, all European cities look the same after a point. So 50 was our first milestone. Together as a couple, and then 1 crore we hit. I was very happy. I'm like, theek hai, good. But somehow once I hit that first crore, I felt it was not enough again. Now again, that is not because of greed or whatever. By then I could not even afford a house. If I wanted to buy a house in Bangalore, in a half decent place, not far away like an airport, it was 2-3 crores for a 2-3 BHK. I was like, ये तो chance ही नहीं है वापस. So मतलब वापस catch up game. And then again next year one became 1.3, 1.7. That COVID year was amazing. Went from 32 lakhs to 2 crores in that COVID period, 2 years. That was very good. And then I realized, okay, now I gamified it a little bit. Now I said, okay, let's not chase a particular number. Let's take every crore as a milestone and keep pushing it up. With no agenda of doing anything with that, just liquid. So now I'm only liquid. Like liquid as in 50% is real estate, which is 3, and another 3 is in stocks. Another 2.5 is in stocks. And that is the only thing I keep adding. I don't do anything with that money. So I don't have a plan to buy a house. The only time I would invest is if I have to buy a real estate property or something else that is giving me cash. Because I know my big ticket expense is going to come only 7-8 years later. So now I'm just building that Excel sheet.
Okay. So you mentioned about, how most Indians don't understand how to use debt. Tell me about your framework to leverage it.
Okay, so see, debt is not a bad thing. Okay, debt is a bad thing if you over leverage it or by default, right? अगर आपने ज़्यादा loan उठाया तो it's a problem. But everyone in the world today uses debt to grow their business. Everyone, whether it's businessmen, governments, anyone, right? So I like taking leverage up to 20%. Okay, whether it is 20% of my income or 20% of my assets. If my asset is let's say 1 crore, 20 lakhs का loan रहना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से. Because worst case what happens is that even if I dispose that 1 crore, I will get 20 lakhs to clear this. 80 lakhs is still in my account. If I am making 1 lakh in salary, 20,000 should always be my EMI. Okay, if it is less than 20,000, I feel that I'm not leveraging debt enough. Now that 20,000 is not going to affect me at all because 80% is still with me, 20% is debt. Without the 20% debt, there's a very high chance I would go buy an iPhone or spend it in some bad. A lot of people say, नहीं मैं invest करूँगा. करो, no problem. But when you invest, I know you will take it out and buy gold, or you will do silver, or you will do some game you will play, right? You will not let it grow. Even that study that came from mutual funds that 90% of the people don't hold for 3 years. Even in mutual funds, if you know compounding, only after 10x is when you really make money.
Exactly.
So you have to wait for 10 years or 12 years for you to make 10x. Nobody wants that. सबको अभी गाड़ी चाहिए, Lamborghini चाहिए, वो सब नहीं होता है. So I realized, let's take debt, let's play debt. Play it in your core competence. I don't know. Now I'm looking at plots. I'm finally learning how to buy land. But my debt today, if I calculate all my assets versus my loan, I have 3 loans today. My assets would be 6 and my loan would be 70 lakhs. So it is less. It is around 10 to 11%, 76 or something. Around 11% is my loan to asset ratio. Okay. Usme bhi I have 2 stupid loans, which I call not income bearing loans. They're depreciating loans, which is stupid car loans. Okay. So I hate that. So that irritates me the most. That I want to remove fast. Now that to clear fast makes sense because that is not giving me any appreciation. But the home loan I keep because that my home is appreciating and loan is depreciating or going down. So I'm very happy with that math. So right now I'm at 11%. I like going to 20%. So I want to go to 20%. I have a lot of opportunities, but now I am taking a call not to do more and aggressively go more into equity.
Right.
I feel like this is a very beautiful low time. I feel maybe another 6 months or 8 months max. If I'm lucky, it'll be low. I want it to be low as much as possible because I found good companies. I want to just stay invested. 3 years down the line, I know we will peak out again, or 4 years. And that time, this will jump like there's no tomorrow. And then I will remove again and put into real estate.
And you actively think about retirement, like you said, like you know the amount.
I have already thought till 60. I have a plan in mind till 60. So a lot of people don't like doing this, right? They don't like planning ahead. If I don't plan ahead, I feel I'm like one lost Atma, Bhatakta Atma. So for me, it's very weird. I get comfort in Excel sheets. If I don't have an Excel sheet that has outlined my life in front of me, I feel very odd, right? Including my stocks. I will see 20, 30 years down the line what it can be. I might not even hold it for 20, 30 years. But I need that, आँख बंद करता हूँ तो ठीक है इधर मैं चल रहा हूँ सही path पे. What is my path? That Excel sheet was my path, right? So I'm a little weird that way. But I have a plan till 60.
Okay. So you mentioned your Excel sheet now. Would you mind showing it to us?
Yeah, I have one Excel sheet. We can go through that. It's a very small one. Yeah, you'll have to come here. Okay. So don't want the design. I've designed it a little weirdly. Okay. So basically, I have my assets and liabilities on the right, just like a balance sheet, and my income and expenses on the left.
Okay.
So I'll go through the assets first. So my first house that I have is, let's say, 1.25. This is the Brigade one. It is actually now at 1.4, but I'm still keeping 1.25. Then I took a second house, 1.9. This is going fully in cash. There's no EMI on this. And I've said this is a hard asset, which I cannot liquidate, right? That comes to around 3.15. Then gold, Sun's PF, which is actually now 18. I update this once a month. Stocks are around this much. US stocks is around this much. So the total asset side comes to 6.23. But the first home loan I still have 35 out of 1.25, which is very less. So that's okay. Right. These are the 2 loans that I told you I'm irritated about, which is my car loan 1 and car loan 2. The problem is it's 41,000 now. 41,000 doesn't affect me, but this 41,000, this is 41 lakhs now, the total car loan. The problem is now this could have been used in an asset, right? So that's how I look at things. So my net assets are 5.47 apart from everything, and loan to asset ratio is 12.18. Apart from that, your insurance, medical insurance is one for the entire family, and life insurance I have taken a 4 crore one, which is also fixed. Coming to the income sources, as I told you, YouTube income roughly comes to around 3.5 a month. Then I have RA services, which is my small case and my 7-bar program. Here I get around 5 lakhs, which is around 50 customers a month average. In a bad month, this is, right? So basically I get mota from different places, dividend comes this much. And my expenses comes to, let's say my house rent that I'm staying right now is 1 lakh. I'm moving to a new place, so there'll be 1 lakh. It is right now 70K. Now car 1 EMI and car 2 EMI, as you can see, this is my pissing off one, which is 92,000. Now my home loan is 72,000 EMI and my car loans are 92,000. So this is why I get irritated, because in 92,000 I can get a 1.2 crore house. Right, and take this EMI. This is already I'm paying right now, so it doesn't affect me. And if I do it with respect to my total income, my house rent is 7% of my monthly income. Car EMI 1 and 2 is like 3% and 6%. Home loan, which is an asset-bearing income expense, is 5.27. Other expenses is around 50-60K ghar ka. Travel fund, this is very subjective, but this I think
if you take 5 vacations, then it will go up.
I've decided not to take many vacations now, but I would take this at, let's say, 50K at an average per month, means 6 lakhs a year. That's decent. And then I have team salaries, which is all of these people, which is my part, which is around 5 lakhs that goes on a monthly basis. Monthly expense goes to around 8.62. Income comes to around 13-ish. This is on a bad month, it's 13. This is fixed. This is variable. So this sometimes goes to 20 also, 15 also. And my monthly cash free that I have is 36%, which is around 5 lakhs. This is after EMIs, everything. So technically, if I blow out my EMIs out, and if I remove these 3 EMIs, then I'm in a much better shape, right? But I'm keeping this for growing the assets. That's why I said these two I want to blow out first and replace this with a house. Because right now my income to savings ratio is quite good, and I should be able to do that. So then I have these ratios like liquid assets to net worth. It's 50%, which is fair. Liquid assets means if something really goes wrong tomorrow and I need money urgently, I can remove it from the stocks.
So this is your emergency fund.
Emergency fund is 50% of my net worth. Hard assets is 50%, which I don't want to touch, because if I can touch, I might do something stupid.
So you want to hold this for as long as you can.
As long as I can. It depends. So I have 2 types of assets. One home I keep for flipping. The other one I'm trying to build one income source now, so that I can build more and more and more. Right. And then savings to income ratio is now 37, but I'm not happy with it. I want to push it to 65. This one. That means my income has to go up even more. So I'm already thinking of how do I make it go up more. So when the fund comes in, that will get pushed more. Right now it is low also because I have just started this year, right? So my upfront capex was higher, my upfront money to put in this business was higher, and now the scale is coming in. Economies of scale is kicking in, right? So this will go up to 50.
Plus, when you waive off those car loans, then it will be even better.
If I waive off car loans, it's 50. But this should go up to 65, which is what I'm looking at. And loan to asset ratio, this is my problem. I'm at 12% right now. I should take more loan, according to this Excel sheet.
I think you're the first person to say that I should take more loans.
Or else what's the point, right? And this is how my buying price of the house was 1. Now it's 1.2. It's actually 1.3 now. I'm going to put it for rent. I get, I think 35,000 is the going rate now. So my rental ROI on my buying price is 4.2. The yield is always 3%, 2.5-3%. But I look at it from when I bought. I put X amount, I'm getting X in return, and the asset appreciation is 20%. Again, right now the market is funky. Real estate prices are inflated. So when they're inflated, use it to your advantage. When they go bust, I will obviously move all the money and go back into my investments, right? And I'll play 2% or 1% on dividend yield. I'm okay with that. So this is basically how I'm doing it.
So you refer to the sheet every month? Update it
every month I do this. There's a tracker.
Oh my god.
So every month I keep all my investments, how is it going over time. So in one of my accounts I've increased it from 55 to 71. How is my stocks going, US investments, how is it moving? This month I lost 1 lakh there, so I put it down. How my son's portfolio is moving, how gold I keep it flat. I just leave it. Like now I've done this at 13,000. Now Jan end tak ye 15,000 ho jayega, right? House 1 how is it appreciating? So 1.4, this is stuck at 1.9, and how the loan is depreciating. Like loan is going down, so 18 से 17, so कम होता रहेगा. So net worth from last month to this month, I have gone almost 30 lakhs in total. That's not because of cash in hand. That's more because investments have gone up a little bit, debt has gone down a little bit, and asset price has gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that I sit every month at the end of it and see how I performed. This is my own growth metric.
You know, I've realized that you're the best guest to have on the show called as the Networth Show.
Yeah.
Because you track it obsessively.
Yeah, so I've already made it till next December. So now my mind is very clear.
So you've started tracking it since December?
No, I made this sheet. No, I've been doing it before, but it was in a very bad way. So I made a YouTube video on it recently. So I thought I'll make it in a much better way and show it. But if I go to my Google Drive, there will be multiple rough sheets, finance sheets, and I made multiple, right? So that's, I don't want to go there as well. But yeah, this is now I'm keeping it more easier for my viewers. So this is basically what it is. And the reason why I do this is to keep accountability for myself. I want to be accountable on track. I don't want to waver. So if I do this religiously and I see that 1 month it has gone down, I should feel bad. I went and bought a car. So then I won't do that type of mistake again, right? So now my only goal is next 10 years, build as many assets as possible. Don't do any stupid big expenses. Because I know one bad big expense is coming, which is my own house. उसमें वो रेट सुन के दिमाग खराब हो रहा है. एक तो लैंड है, we want to go in a bungalow instead of an apartment. So that's going to cost a lot.
And I think the lifestyle inflation will start kicking in when you want a better house.
Obviously,
a better decor,
interior is only so expensive, bro. When I see the sofa cost and all, I'm like, I need 3 more years. I need 5 more years. So I'm asking my wife more and more time. And the problem is, the more I'm running fast to catch up, the more the asset prices are going up and the more income tax is hitting me also. I'm getting cramped on both sides. Hence the diversification. So everything's out of need. So US I used to not do before. Because I saw rupee falling a lot, I said, okay, now my portfolio is big enough to move 10% at least into US. And my goal is to take it up to 20 by this year end. So slowly I will move more there. And US is not just US, it's across the world. So I told you I'm investing in Brazil and all of that. So slowly, one step at a time.
Yeah. And if your son was to watch this podcast 20 years from now, and he's going to take one lesson away, what would you want that to be?
See, the way I'm building my life right now is so that, so I always had this, and I'm sure you would also have this, कि इतना पैसा होता कि काम नहीं करना पड़ता. सबके पास है, right? You would also have that. If you had 50 crores today, would you work? You would definitely work.
I mean,
but the way you work would be very different.
Yeah, exactly.
The things you would work on would be very different. So I'm like, see, I didn't have that, obviously, because my dad had a lot of responsibilities. I don't. So when I don't have that kind of responsibilities, I should play it smart, so that my son enjoys little more and he says, "Ha, thank God, मेरा बाप ने बहुत मेहनत किया." ठीक है? So I'm trying to do that, and that is why I'm investing for 30 years and giving it to him. But I would be very pissed if he
screws that up.
Yeah. But I'm like, now I've done it for this, like one generation I've given you. Your job is to ensure that it goes above this and not below it, right? So my job is to ensure he is financially smart from day one. And I will not tell him about this pool. And I will never tell him the amount of the pool. I'll be like, pool is there, but you'll not know the amount. 30 years पे मेरे को भी नहीं पता, जो pool आएगा वो दे दूंगा. तेरा है, but you cannot screw it. Like ensure it only goes up from here. Don't do intraday and all unless you're absolutely great. But you can lose money a little bit, because I also lost, but not enough to come on the road, because I've done a lot of hard work for 30 years to ensure you're not going there. So that's what I would tell him. Don't lose the money that I make for you.
So don't screw up, no?
Don't screw up. That's a lesson for me now also. Don't screw up. You're finally reached a point where you can sit peacefully. Don't screw it up. Don't take aggressive bets. Don't risk it all. Just play how you're playing. You will be fine.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I had a great time. What was your experience like?
I enjoyed it, man. It was quite fun. I didn't see the time flying also. So I was very happy with the entire podcast. I hope your audience learned something.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I hope you like this podcast as much as I did. And I'll see you in the next episode. So take care until then.
Investment in the securities market is subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.